Iran just attacked 6 countries in one day and nobody's talking about it. So sit down. Sit down, because while you were doom scrolling Instagram reels of some guy ranking airport lounges, Iran allegedly hit 6 different countries in one day: Syria, Kuwait, Oman, Jordan, Bahrain, Iraq. 6. That's not a war update. That's a Marvel movie release calendar. That's phase 4 of the Infinity Saga, but every Avenger is a radar installation. And the wildest part, almost nobody in mainstream media is covering it like the emergency aid apparently is. You know how I know? Because I checked. I refreshed 3 separate news homepages this morning, and the lead story on one of them was about a celebrity's divorce. Meanwhile, there's a Navy support base in Bahrain reportedly sitting in actual smoke. Priorities? Or they don't want to show it. Meanwhile, I'm out here, a guy who does geopolitics from his bedroom, and I have to read you breaking news off my phone because it's moving faster than my producers can format a slide. My guy texted me at 6 a.m. like, bro, did you see Oman? And I hadn't even finished my breakfast. So buckle up, because today we're talking about how a single retaliation for 8 dead soldiers turned into what looks like the most coordinated multi-front operation of this entire conflict. This is everything, everywhere, all at once. But if the Daniels directed it from Tehran, and instead of a bagel that destroys the universe, it's a spreadsheet of radar coordinates. The US allegedly bombed a military site inside Iran, near a city called Iran Share in the Sistan-Balochistan region. 8 Iranian soldiers reportedly killed. 8. That's the spark. Now here's the thing about escalation. It's never an eye for an eye. It's always an eye for a whole Pinterest board of eyes. And that's basically what happened next. Iran, according to multiple regional reports, launched a covert operation against Al-Tanf, a base in Syria. This is the first time Iran has attacked Syria. Now, Al-Tanf is interesting because it used to be an American base. US troops officially pulled out back in February 2026, but the reporting suggests Iran believed American personnel were still quietly operating out of there. Like when your ex says they moved out, but their toothbrush is still in your bathroom. Nobody actually left. They just start posting about it. So Iran didn't just lob a missile at an empty building. This was allegedly infiltration style. Operatives on the ground, not just rockets in the sky. Reports describe American soldiers taking casualties from what sounds like an inside operation. Agents already positioned there, not a strike that came out of nowhere. That's the geopolitical equivalent of not just canceling someone on Twitter, but showing up to their house, ringing the doorbell, and saying, "We need to talk." And then it just kept going, like a Six Flags coaster that will not stop at the platform. You want off, the operator's on lunch break, and the ride keeps going, clack, clack, clack. Kuwait, reports of a missile detection and surveillance radar destroyed, plus HIMARS launchers hit, plus ballistic missile storage allegedly struck. That's 3 separate target types in one country. That's not a strike, that's a shopping list. Oman, not 1, but 2 surveillance radar sites reportedly hit. One maritime radar near Duqm, which, fun fact, is the same coastal area where an Iranian journalist called out a hotel where American officials stay. And then a second radar site further inland. So there's a theme developing here. Iran isn't just hitting radars randomly. It's allegedly hitting the exact places it believes people are being tracked and targeted from. This isn't carpet bombing. This is allegedly a target list built of somebody's intelligence briefing. Jordan, the Muwaffaq Salti Air Base, which, according to reports, became a kind of backup US CENTCOM hub after Al Udeid in Qatar got wrecked earlier in this conflict. It took a hit involving Iranian fighter jets, not drones, fighter jets. If you remember, earlier in this war, there was a report of a single Iranian F-4 slipping into Kuwaiti airspace and dropping bombs, and everybody treated that like a fluke. Well, it's apparently not a fluke anymore. It's a pattern, and the pattern includes F-15s, F-16s, refueling aircraft, and some of America's own ballistic missile stock, all allegedly sitting on that base. Erbil in Iraq. This one's different. Ground forces, not missiles. Actual IRGC ground operations reportedly targeting American and Israeli-linked handlers working alongside Kurdish forces. If accurate, that means Iran ran a covert infiltration up in two different countries in the same 24 hours. Syria in the morning, Iraq in the also kind of the morning. This man did not sleep. Bahrain, home to the US Navy's 5th Fleet Support Base, and multiple images reportedly show smoke rising from what's described as several structural layers of that base, with reports suggesting 2 or 3 of those layers were hit. Plus, an alleged strike on the Bapco oil refinery, one of the largest facilities of its kind in the region, and Kuwait's desalination plant. Let that sit for a second. In a region where fresh water is basically more valuable than oil, hitting a desalination plant isn't just military strategy. That's a message. That's, I know where your water comes from, energy. 6 countries, 1 day. And I'm sitting here like, bro, where's the CNN Chiron for this? Now, obligatory disclaimer, because I actually care about not lying to you. A lot of this is coming from Iranian state and semi-official channels, plus independent sources that haven't been independently verified by Western outlets as of this recording. Some of it, like the Al-Tanf operation, is being reported with more confidence. Some of it, like certain casualty numbers, nobody has officially confirmed. This is the fog of war problem. When a government wants you to think it's winning, of course, it's going to release footage of smokestacks and radar wreckage. That's just wartime marketing. Every side does it. The Pentagon does it too, just with better production value and a guy named General somebody standing at a podium. So take the specifics with a grain of salt, but take the pattern seriously, because patterns don't lie the way press releases do. Now, here's the part that actually stopped me. The IRGC didn't just release a military statement. They released a statement quoting 3 verses from the Quran. One of the verses translates to, "A people who don't help themselves, God stops helping them too." That's not a military update. That's a mission statement aimed directly at the Gulf states, basically saying, you didn't help us, don't expect help either. The second one, if you help God's cause, God will help you succeed, which, if you know the history here, is the exact same framing Palestinian resistance groups used back in October 2023 during the worst of the bombardment in Gaza. Same theology, same playbook, different battlefield map. And the third, if someone wrongs you, respond in kind, which is basically Iran saying, in scripture form, you killed our people in Iran Share, we go into Al-Tanf. You hit civilians in Bandar Abbas, we go into Erbil. You want to play this game with Oman? Fine, we played in Oman too. That's not just a war update. That's a theological press release. I don't know if you've ever seen a military organization cite scripture in a battle communique like it's a mic drop, but that's what's happening here. Here's my actual point, and it's not pick a side. It's pay attention, because right now, by most of these accounts, Israel is barely in this equation anymore. It reportedly can't replicate the strikes it was running during the earlier 40-day war. The US appears boxed into strikes on southern Iran only, and Iran, despite real losses, has apparently kept enough oil money flowing through China and Russia. Reportedly around $50 billion worth since the memorandum signed in June to keep this going. Which means the story isn't who wins today. It's how does a regional power stay in a war of attrition against a superpower and not collapse. That's the actual headline. Not the radar sites, not the Quran verses. The fact that the math everyone assumed that Iran runs out of steam hasn't happened yet. So while your feed is showing you a guy ranking airport lounges, 6 countries allegedly got hit in 1 day, and almost nobody's Chiron caught up. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm telling you to notice when the story is bigger than the coverage. So that's all in this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share with your friends, and do subscribe to the channel for more such videos.